also reports that funding for President Trump's border wall will not make it into Congress's spending bill, not slowing down interest from the builders wanting in on the business. More than 200 companies have expressed interest in submitting their bids to help construct a wall along the southern border, according to the Wall Street Journal. Joining us right now is the CEO of Penna Group, and he joins us right now, Michael Evangelista-Ysasaga. Good to see you, Michael.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And your company submitted a bid to work on that wall. You want this business?
We do. We had to do a lot of soul searching whenever this project came up, and we decided that we would rather be a productive part of the solution rather than sit on the sidelines and let another company dictate what we considered more inhumane, lethal designs. How
big a piece of business is this for your company? I mean, if you were to get that project to build that wall, this is important for your business, right?
Well, we're a for-profit company, there's no question about it, but we have a lot of work, and we could have done some other projects. And a lot of people say, is this about the money? And it really isn't. As mentioned, we had to do a lot of soul searching before we got into this project. I did meet with my team. We met for about 4 hours, and we decided that the better thing for us to do was to propose some humane solutions with respect to the design. Now, you have to understand the government is relying on federal contractors for the design. It's not as if they're saying, here's the plans and specs, we want you to go out and build this wall. So they're looking to us to do the design concept.
Wow. So what does a more humane wall look like? I mean, what are you thinking?
Well, a lot of that's, I can't say too much about it, right, because otherwise, because the extension has been given. But our wall secures our borders, which is what the highest priority is here. It's 30 feet in height. It's got a 6-foot footing, which keeps people from tunneling underneath. And it's, as Trump wants, a big, beautiful wall. We're real proud of our concept.
Wow.
And will you be invoicing the government of Mexico or our government?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and invoice the United States on this one.
And I think what a lot of people are considering or concerned about is just making sure we do have doors, that we do still allow people to come here and work who want to come visit. I don't know if you have sort of thoughts on those policies generally, but
yes. Absolutely. In fact, we think this is going to help immigration because I've been lecturing about immigration reform for the last 10 years, and what I have found is that the American people, and our politicians certainly, do not have the appetite to pass immigration reform. In other words, passing new laws when we aren't enforcing the laws on the books. So my thought is, and I truly believe this, that once we secure our borders, build the wall, then at that point we can have a rational conversation about comprehensive immigration reform, including proposing some very rational solutions like earned citizenship programs.
Now, the Journal is reporting, the Wall Street Journal did analysis, and they found that 13% of the companies expected to submit proposals are owned by Hispanics. This is really interesting. You're a Hispanic-American businessman. What made you decide to get your company involved in this? You said it's not just about the money. This is a broader, deeper conversation that you had.
It is. Again, we're a for-profit company. What we do it for enterprise, for profit. But we have a lot of other business that we could have made just as much money on. But again, we decided to enter this conversation because the federal defense contracting community is very small. And so we were aware of a lot of very disturbing options, such as electrified fence and things like that. And when I met with my team, 80% of which is of Mexican-American descent, we decided that it was just better for us to be a productive part of the solution. We didn't want to wake up on a Sunday morning and hear about, a dozen Guatemalan kids that were electrocuted or seriously injured by somebody else's design.
Wow.
You talk about rational immigration reform, but yes, people who are against stopping illegal immigrants from coming in this country very often get irrational. I'm curious what the response has been when people found out that you, as a Latino, as a Mexican-American, were bidding on this wall project.
Well, I mean, some of it's a little disturbing. We have been getting some death threats.
Death threats?
Yeah, death threats. And, but it's kind of interesting. I actually because it's very important for our company to understand the attitude of the American people out there. So I actually took a day to field some of those calls. And it's really interesting because once I explained our position to some of the very angry callers, I ended up having many of them, a majority of them, actually wish us luck and tell us that they understood and that they hope that we get the project.
Wow. So you're getting death threats in what form? Tell us what happened.
Well, I get my office is flooded with calls, people saying, you know, we're watching you. There's a price to pay for doing what you're doing, things like that. And it's, you know, it's very disturbing. And you have to understand, I mean, you know, I'm Latino, I've got 57 first cousins in my own family. A lot of members of my own family are not very happy about this. But once I take...
Your grandparents came here illegally, didn't they?
They did. It was, yeah, many, many years ago in the 1930s. It was a very different situation back then.
Yes, very different.
Very different. Unfortunately, you know, as everyone knows, for the last 35 years, we have done nothing about immigration in terms of reform. The only thing that we've done is we have entrenched both sides. One side is talking about security, the other side is talking about immigration reform, and everyone is just yelling at each other. Nobody's coming together on this issue. My hope is that once we build this wall, then, again, we can have that rational conversation that we desperately need. We have probably 14 to about 18 million undocumented workers in this country that have absolutely no avenue to come out of the shadows. We're hoping that once we secure our borders, the American people will finally have the appetite.
So your design has the wall up 30 feet, right? You said?
30 feet.
30 feet. Give us one more secret about your design.
It's a big, beautiful wall.
Okay. We'll leave it there. Michael Evangelista-Ysasaga, great to see you.
Great to see you.
Thank you so much. We'll
Absolutely.
be watching the business that you get.